Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about polygons. Our learning target for today is that you will be able to identify and classify polygons. And after watching this video, you'll know exactly what that means. So the first thing that I want you to do is write the following definitions down in your math journal. So you'll probably want to pause the video and write the definition of a line segment and a polygon into your journal. Alright, so hopefully now you've written down your definitions to a line segment and a polygon. So first of all, a line segment, I know that it sounds like something complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. A line segment is a line that has a definite start and end. So when we're talking in mathematical terms, we want to make sure that we know that when we have a line segment, it's just part of a line. The line doesn't keep going in either direction. Starts here and it ends here. It is just a part of a line. It's a line segment. And a polygon is a closed plane figure formed by three or more sides or line segments that meet at points called vertices. So let's look at our examples down here. A couple of them are not examples, and one of them is an example of a polygon. So our first image right here, if we're looking at it, we see that it has line segments. We see those line segments meet at different points, but this is not a closed plane figure. That means if you see this little gap right here, it's showing that the shape is open. It's not a closed plane figure. So this is not a polygon. This first shape right here is not a polygon. If we look at our second shape, we see that does have lines. They do meet at points called vertices, which is where the 2 points come together. And they are closed plane, but the problem is we have two closed plane figures. So actually what we're looking at here, it's not one polygon, it would be classified as two different polygons because this top one would be a polygon by itself and the one on the bottom would be a polygon by itself as well. Now if we're looking at this last picture, what do you guys think? Is this one a polygon or is it not? It is a polygon. It is a closed plane figure, so it means all of our sides are closed off. It's formed by three or more sides. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides here, and they all meet at points called vertices. So we have a polygon right here. So just to make it clear, we're going to cross these two out. This is not a polygon right here. This is not a polygon right here. This last one is a polygon. All right, now let's look at how we can identify polygons. So the way we identify polygons is we're looking at the number of sides, angles, and vertices they each have. And when we can determine that, that shows us what its name is. So first of all, let's make sure we know what those three things are. First of all, we have a side or line segment, which we've already talked about, and that's the different lines that make up the polygon. So here's a line segment, here's a line segment, and we have line segments going all the way around. Next, we have vertices. Vertices are where the two line segments come together. And actually, the reason this says vertex is the singular form of vertices. So right here, what it's pointing to, that is one vertex. And then when we look at all the vertices, they're all around the corners. That's where the two line segments are coming to meet together. And last but not least, on the inside, we have angles forming. We have angles where on the inside point where the two lines meet. So if we look here, this is an angle right here. This is an angle right here, and the angles go all the way around the circle. So the way we can determine what type of polygon this shape is, or any shape is, what we can do is we can count how many sides, angles, and vertices that the polygon has. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. So if we're looking at our polygon list here, we're going to look at the one that has 6 sides, and this is actually a hexagon. So a hexagon has 6 sides, 6 angles, and 6 vertices in it. I want you to pause the video again, and I want you to copy down the types of polygons that we'll be working with into your math journal. Okay, so hopefully you have copied the different types of polygons into your math journal, and that will be a very good reference for you coming up. And now we're going to be talking about one last thing, and that is regular polygons versus not regular polygons. So when we're looking at a polygon, sometimes we can classify them by how many sides they have and all that. But also we can classify them by whether or not they're a regular polygon. So a regular polygon, if we look like right here, we have our definition. A regular polygon, all of its angles are congruent, which means they have the same measure. All the angles are the same. Also, all sides are congruent. All the sides have the same length. So if we're looking at the word congruent means same. So all angles are the same and all sides are the same. Now the way we can the way we identify that is we actually have symbols that we can draw onto the polygon to show if the sides and angles are congruent or not. So we have angle represented in pink. So let's go through in our first image here, and we're going to look at all the angles. The angle is shown by drawing a curved mark where the angle, where the two vertices come together, or where the two line segments come together. So if we look right here, this is showing one angle, and this is the angle that it's showing right here. I'm actually going to go back and erase that because that does not help us see the picture well. Alright, and then going back, we're going to look, this is another angle right here, this is another angle right here, a third angle, and, well actually that's the fourth angle, and here's our fifth angle. So all of these are the different types of angles, and if we're looking at them, they're all the same measure, they're all the same, they would all have the same degree of measure. So this so far is congruent. So far it's a regular polygon. The next thing we need to see is if all sides are congruent. So we're going to identify the sides by showing it in green. And the way you show a side is you draw a single line through it. This side is the same length as this side, as this side, as this side, as this side. They are all the same length. So all my angles are congruent and all my sides are congruent. So this right here, this is a regular polygon. So the next polygon we're going to look at is actually not going to be a regular polygon. I'm going to spoil it for you. So if we're looking at it, we can identify the different angles and sides again. So let's start by doing the angles. So if I'm looking at this angle right here, is this angle and this angle the same? Are they the same? They're really not. What about this angle and this angle? Well, those two have the same measure, so I can draw another line showing this one. This angle and this one down here, those are different than these two. So the way we have to identify that it is different is we're going to draw two of our little marks to show that these two, they match. This one matches this one, but they're not the same as these two right here. Now, actually, sometimes a polygon might have up to three or four different angles shown in the shape. Excuse me. So you would have to continue to add lines for each of the added measures of angles. So right here we just have the two different measures of angles. This one and this one's the same. This one and this one is the same. So one of them, the matching ones get matching numbers of lines. Next we look at the number of sides. So if we look here, this side is the same length as this side, but this side is a different length than this side. So the way I'm showing that is I'm going to show this one, these match because they both have the one strike going through them. These two have two strikes to show that they are congruent. So these two line segments are congruent and these two line segments are congruent, but they're not congruent altogether. So I have to show it by doing two strikes with these congruent lines, one strike through these congruent lines. So this angle right here, or this polygon right here, because we have different angles and different sides, this is not a regular polygon. So when we're labeling the different types of polygons, oh my goodness, sorry about my writing. Okay, so when we're looking at the vertices, I just wanted to point those out again. These are all the vertices right here, the points. Now this doesn't really, we don't generally use this to identify whether or not a polygon is regular or not, but I just wanted to point it out so that you could tell that the vertices are right above the angles. It's right where the two line segments meet together. So this one has 4 vertices, and this one has 5 vertices. All right, well, now it's time for you guys to practice this. So I want you to go ahead and draw these 3 shapes into your math journal, and I want you to identify the different parts. I want you to tell me, first of all, is it a regular polygon or not a regular polygon? I want you to tell me how many sides it has, how many angles it has, how many vertices it has, and I also want you to refer to that chart that we made that tells us what type of polygon it is. All right, make sure you complete your watch, summarize, and question, and turn in your Edmodo assignment and send me a note saying, Miss Cassidy, I have finished the assignment. See you all tomorrow.